Hello everybody and welcome to another Coffee with Carl. Today our subject is going to be stock trading and why we use entities when we set up entity structures for stock trading accounts. There's a lot of questions revolving around why we set up entities for stock trading accounts. For the most part, your stock isn't really going to cause you any liability issues as far as, nobody's going to slip on a share and fall down and sue you for it. But stock or brokerage accounts can be attractive to plaintiff's attorneys. So we do want to wrap them in an entity, and preferably an anonymous entity, so it doesn't even show up as an asset of yours. The second portion is the tax portion. We want to be able to deduct the expenses of what we're doing in relation to the trading account. And unfortunately, unless you're going to qualify as a trader, as the IRS defines it, which is just as a summary, most cases and most people watching this will not qualify. I've even worked with professional traders in New York, that live in New York City, have worked for professional brokerages, did their own trading, more than 1,000 trades a year, so in some cases a couple thousand or more trades a year, and still did not qualify under the IRS guidelines. So let's talk about the route that most of us are going to take, as well as it's a test, the trading test as well as an ongoing thing. So why worry about that qualifying every single time in order to deduct some expenses if we can just add an entity into the mix that allow us to capture those same expenses without having to qualify on the IRS guidelines. So let's talk about what we normally set up for traders. It has changed over the years. We used to use, let's get into this, just several years ago, or even a couple years ago, we were setting up limited partnerships with a corporation set up as the general partner. There's going to be a guaranteed payment to that partner, and then an LLC or an individual as the limited partner. So they're just like an LLC, their liability is limited. The more current or up-to-date structure, there's nothing wrong with the limited partnership structure in that regard because the corporation's not really holding any assets. But the key is, by tying in that corporation, we can now capture those expenses we weren't able to do as an individual. If you want a guide or a little brief summary on kind of why we use corporations, there is another video that talks about that. So I'm not going to go too deep into that. But basically, we're utilizing the corporate tax code to capture expenses and deductions that weren't already available to us as individuals. So in essence, we're stepping around qualifying as a trader by looping in our corporation. The new structure, or the most current structure, is, and we've replaced the limited partnership with an LLC in order to do that same type of strategy. We have our corporation that's going to be a partner in that LLC, and then either an individual or say a Wyoming LLC that's going to be the other partner in that. Now, by linking in that corporation, and here's another key piece, making sure it's a guaranteed payment to that partner, meaning the corporation, we can now start to deduct those expenses that individually we weren't able to take before. So really, from my perspective, there is some of this in that some of it is on the liability side, meaning I don't want somebody just to be able to reach in and take my brokerage account, because quite frankly, it's almost the same as cash, which is pretty tasty to potential plaintiffs or plaintiff attorneys. But the real benefit on a day-to-day basis is going to be for that tax planning side, where you're able to deduct those things like cable, internet, certain types of equipment, meaning if you need a computer to do your trading, things like this you wouldn't able to normally be able to capture as an individual unless you qualified as a trader. So when it comes to stock trading, my main focus is going to be on the taxation side, but we also want to protect from the liability side in a secondary position here, so that if in case you get sued, those brokerage accounts aren't just readily available for somebody to take and convert and cash out what you've been spending time and effort on learning. Oh, sorry, and then also an additional piece there too. When we loop in that corporation, you can also write off those startup or educational expenses involved with learning how to trade as well. Because I know a lot of you out there have taken trading classes, and including myself, I am a trader as well. So That's why how we use entities in that regard for protection and tax. So that's a great little tidbit for you. If you have more questions, as always, please give Anderson Advisors a call. Otherwise, please log on to our website and always have your free consultation. If you're already a client, always happy to speak with you, and you're always welcome to use that Platinum portal as well. So until next time, thanks for joining me with Coffee with Carl. Don't forget to take advantage of all our free content out there, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.